while discussing about the optimum level of pollution removal in the utilitarian approach, we find that there is somewhat problem in actually determining the what is the cost involved, the true cost involved, and whether all costs are measurable also, like whether again the social audit is properly done or not. Social audit is a report of the social costs and social benefits of the firm's activities, because this pollution control measures and the costs involved in it may be so high sometimes it may outweigh the benefits produced. So, when you are talking of like what is the optimum level of pollution removal, so it becomes very difficult to determine it. So, when this difficulty is there, then people take some alternate viewpoints or the precautionary principles in determining how the organization is going to act when there is no some clear idea of the risks involved in the project or the costs which are there. So, those we will discuss under the two headings when you are talking of the precautionary principle and the maximin rule. So, in the precautionary principle, it discusses the principle that if a practice carries an unknown risk of catastrophic and irreversible consequences, but it is uncertain how large that risk is, then the practice should be rejected until it is certain that the risk is non-existent or insignificant. So, if it is understood like the practice carries an like unknown risk, but and the risk is irreversible, has having irreversible consequences, and it is uncertain how big a risk it is. So, it should not the practice like the should be rejected, like whatever practice your business practice you are aimed at should be rejected until it is certain about the amount of risk involved, and the risk is becomes either non-existent or insignificant. So, when you are talking of the precautionary principle and we are focusing on the risks involved, but when it is also not possible to measure accurately the risk, the one of the principles is to start from the first by assuming that the worst is going to happen, and then choose the options that leaves a person better off when the worst is going to happen. So, this is like when we do not understand what the risk is, it's better to think of the worst of the conditions that may happen and then think of what are the measures that needs to be taken, so that it can make my life a somewhat better condition. So, this is the maximin rule. The alternative approaches to pollution and why people go for pollution, the basic understanding of those reasons are grouped under the alternative approaches to pollution. So, there are certain inherent difficulties in the cost benefit analysis that we have seen, in the rights based approaches to the ethical issues raised by absolute bans and all. So, that is why some have focused towards an alternative approach of looking into the fact why environment needs to be protected. So, it is somewhere argued in the cost benefit and the right based theories, it's a kind of calculative and rationalistic ways of thinking, of understanding why the businesses should be made responsible for the environmental crisis. And cost benefit analysis, it assumes that nature is to be measured and used efficiently, whereas rights based approach sees humans and other entities in having a right from the in terms of individualistic terms, and ignores the relationship that the human being may have with nature. So, these ways of thinking, so it has been argued the people arise from the type of society that people live in. So, when you are talking of the alternative approaches to pollution, we have to get the feedback from the societal viewpoints of how the relationship dynamics is present in the society. From the social ecology viewpoint, it tries to defend, in the sense it is the environmental crisis that people face are rooted in the social systems of hierarchy and domination that characterize our society. So, the cultural norms of which exist in this family, between generation, between genders, racial and ethnic groups. So, in political scenario, economic scenario and social management. So, and including also the way we expect or experience our reality as a whole. So, it includes both also the nature and non-human life forms. So, the system of hierarchy and domination, as Bookchin suggested, facilitate the rise of broad cultural mentality and encourages domination in many forms, including the domination of nature. success here becomes identified with dominance and control. The power and status, and the more successful the person is the more the power and status, more the wealth, it is considered more successful the person is. So, success gets synonymous in the form of how the domination of the nature as a society comes into identity. So, like in the increasing ability to control nature and to dominate it. So, here in this perspective, when the different stakeholders join hand, like the science, technology and the agriculture, all join hands in the attempt to dominate and control nature. So, when the attempt is to dominate and to control nature, then the weighing the cost and benefits of destroying nature is inevitable over here. So, the widespread nature of destruction of nature that results then cannot be halted until and unless the pattern of the society also becomes less hierarchical, less dominating and less oppressive. So, the ideal society is one where there is no oppression, no forces and where all power is decentralized. The agriculture and technology would be restricted to those kinds that are sustainable and will allow humans to live in harmony with nature. Some feminists, so this social ecology talks of, because there is an ingrained picture in our mind where there are social hierarchies and people get differentially treated amongst these social hierarchies. So, it is and it is where in this hierarchy maybe you find the environment is at the level which, like, it has to serve all other people who is there in the upper level as compared to the environment. And so, when you are talking of social ecology, it tries to do away with the system of hierarchy and domination, so that so that it rejects all domination and like everybody respects each other's rights, like the human beings also respect the non-human entity, not only the animal but also the biotics, the plants are taken also into consideration. The eco-feminism, they are of the view this hierarchy in the society mainly focuses towards the difference in status given to the woman and men in the particular society, and this is this male domination which has given rise to the problems as mentioned in the social ecology viewpoint, where there is a difference in status. The ecofeminism tells like the women in the society are generally more exploited and they are given the they are given the second status. They are like dominated by the men who makes the woman subordinate to them, and so this belief has given rise to the feeling like, yes, the environment is sort of my sort of slave, sort of who are in the second category, and we can exploit them as and when required. So, this feminism viewpoint have demanded the change in male pattern of dominating nature and woman. So, the other feminists have told like the woman, the problem of ethics of caring towards the environment should be focused from the area of ethics of caring, where the destruction in the nature that has happened due to these male hierarchies of domination must be replaced by with caring for nurturing our relationships with not only with the amongst the human part, but also with the non-human part. So, and this way we are extending the ethics of care like towards the non-human part, it becomes very important. And maybe this we can link to the specific virtue that people nurtures, that develops, which talks of like reverence for life. So, it is the value which is guiding me, not whether I am doing this for a human or a non-human entity, and to whom I will be doing more or to whom I will be doing less. So, if you are guided by the virtue of reservation of life, like the life by itself is important, whether it belongs to a human or non-human entity may not be the question. If someone possesses life, the life has to be respected itself and taken care of, so that the person is able to express himself further. And so, like when we are discussing this ethics of care, this is a feminist touch where we are caring for people like it is as if I am taking care of the needs, desires, aspirations of the person that I care for. Similar, when I am taking care of the environment, it is also taking care of the nature of the environment, what are its dangers, hazards, how it needs to be taken care of, what are its specific needs, and all these things. So, and it gives the ecofeminism gives the central role to like the concepts, to the virtues like care, love, relationship, then friendship, trust, and appropriate reciprocity. So, these ecofeminism has a major role to play when we are defining the ethics of care to the environment. So, this is again a very new form, and like to what extent it is going to what extent it is actually going to yield result needs to be again verified, because maybe the different ways to take care, for how you do it, all these have not been articulated very clearly till the present time. So, it is a new concept where we are taking care of the organization and the environment, the organization taking care of the environment, the non-human part of the existence, like because with care, love, and the mutuality of the relationship, trust. So, these factors become very important when we are talking from the other feminist perspective of ethics of care. So, where we are trying to change the dominant pattern of male domination to bringing a balance in status between the man and the woman, and in analogy with the non-human part of the existence and the human part of the existence. We want to balance it properly. So, when we are discussing the ethics of care, this can be extended to also the what care should be taken and from what perspective, starting from when, so that there is less of wastages of resources and the depletable resources are conserved properly. So, this we will take up in the next section when we are discussing ethics of conserving depletable resources. Thank you.